That is just the way that the San Francisco 49ers drew it up. The 49ers, what a thriller, what a game, what a crazy ending. They are 1-0. 17-13 winners over the Seahawks. What a big balls win for San Francisco to kick off the 2025 NFL season. Let's react to it all. You're watching the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. My name is Chase Sr. It's a Victory Sunday here on this show, and no matter where you are or how you're tuned in, we appreciate you for making this post-game reaction show a part of your day. And my goodness, what a game it was at Lumen Field in Seattle. Anytime these teams meet, it seems as though it always comes down to the wire. It's always a nail-biter. There are always crazy plays that transpire within the game. And for San Francisco of late, they have really owned the Seahawks. I think that's 6 of 7 wins against the Seahawks for San Francisco. And it looked as though it was not going to go in the direction of the Niners, but somehow, some way, San Francisco battled some adversity. They fought and clawed until the end, and they come through with a clutch, big-time win, which could really go a long way by season's end of deciding a playoff spot or the NFC West crown. These two teams will meet once again in Week 18 at Levi's Stadium. And this is really what it comes down to for me, and this is what I'm going to remember about this game. This offseason, the 49ers paid Brock Purdy $55 million per year. That tied him with Jared Goff for becoming the 7th highest paid quarterback in the NFL. And there were a lot of questions. Was Brock Purdy worth that salary? Is Brock Purdy actually legit? What can he do when he doesn't have a bunch of complimentary star-studded playmakers around him? Can he come through in the clutch? Because at times in close games, he has struggled in the fourth quarter of nail-biting affairs. That is why you pay Brock Purdy $55 million per year, to make plays like that. And it's not just the 40-plus yard ball down the sideline right in stride to Ricky Pearsall to get the Niners in the end zone or in the red zone. It's not just Purdy buying time in the pocket, escaping pressure, rolling to his right, looking left, buying more time, rolling to his right, throwing it up for grabs for Jake Tonges. First career touchdown, tight end 3 on this team, who wins the game for San Francisco with that score. It's Purdy's ability to have a short memory, to flush the 2 bad interceptions that he threw, and to come through in the biggest of moments. And on that final drive, Purdy was perfect. And some people might say that was a hospital ball that he threw up for Tonges. It should have been picked. In that situation, when you have a kicker who missed from 27 and a kick was blocked from 36 and it's 3rd down and you're trying to win the game and you don't trust your kicker, you give your teammate and your weapon an opportunity to make a play. And that's exactly what Purdy did. Threw it up for grabs, and Tonges, to his credit, took that ball away from, I believe, Tariq Woolen, who's a really good player in this league. Purdy on that game-winning drive, for all of the talk that he's not clutch, he was clutch in the final moments. 6 of 6, 67 yards. 40-plus yard play to Pearsall, who had himself a day, and then the game-winning touchdown to Jake Tonges. So you pay Brock Purdy $55 million per year. He's the highest paid player in the history of this organization. Guess who's the 2nd highest paid player in the history of this Niners organization? Nick Bosa. And I have come to the defense of Nick Bosa because a lot of people throughout 2023 and 2024, since he got paid $34 million per year, have said that Nick Bosa is overrated, that he's overpaid, that he doesn't do that much. Nick Bosa, despite being injured last year and not having crazy sack numbers in 2024, and didn't blow the lid off with sack production in 2023 either, after he won Defensive Player of the Year in 2022, has been one of the highest graded pass rushers in the game for 4 consecutive seasons. 2021, 2022, 2023, and 2024. He is worth every penny. And he, on defense, after the Seahawks looked as though they were going to steal this game, won the game for the Niners on the defensive side of the ball. He got pressure on Sam Darnold. He pushed the right tackle, Abraham Lucas, into the lap of Darnold. And as Darnold was winding up to throw, he fumbled it and Bosa recovered it. So that's two highly paid superstars on your team, Brock Purdy and Nick Bosa, directly influencing the outcome of the game. And you have to imagine that Jed York, Parag, who's always pinching pennies, John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, knowing that they've given bags to Bosa and Purdy, are smiling. They're happy knowing that their investments helped result in a huge victory, which can really catapult this Niners season. Was it perfect? No. Is there a lot to work on? Yes. Are there a lot of concerns with this football team? No doubt about it. But to go on the road in a really difficult environment, you're battle-tested coming out of this game, you're better because of it, and you come through in the guts of the game to win it in this manner against this team, against your fiercest rival, and you're able to, in the process, flush some of the bad vibes from 2024 when you went 6-11 and start the year on an incredible note. And NFL players will say this a lot. One of the best experiences about being an NFL player is the trip home when you're on the road, you silence the crowd and you win, and you're able to celebrate that victory on your way back home. And I can guarantee you this, in the Niners locker room, on the plane ride, they are going to celebrate this one. Now, it might only last for about 24 hours, this feeling, before it's on to week 2 against New Orleans, a team that nearly came back to take down the Arizona Cardinals, but this one is sweet. This one feels good. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for the best Niners coverage right here on YouTube. Thanks to everybody who tuned into our watch party. Nearly 200,000 views. You think we're stopping here? There is so much more to recap and react to, but we have to give a shout out to our sponsor, Omaha Steaks. And if you're like me and you love to eat quality food, especially high-level meats, this deal is for you. Check this out. Get fired up for fall grilling with Omaha Steaks. When you visit omahasteaks.com, you'll get 50% off site-wide during their Red Hot Sale event. And for an extra $35 off, use the promo code 49ers at checkout. That's 50% off at omahasteaks.com, an extra $35 off when you use the promo code 49ers at checkout. See site for details. Omaha Steaks offers unrivaled quality and variety. Every bite is backed by their 100% guarantee. Right now, it's the perfect time to stock up with the exceptional handcrafted flavor and convenience of Omaha Steaks. Every steak perfectly aged to maximize tenderness and hand-cut by master butchers in America's heartland. Grass-fed, grain-finished beef has more marbling for exceptional flavor, and it's the choice of steakhouses and professional chefs all around the world. Omaha Steaks delivers an exclusive lineup of USDA certified tender steaks, and their fan favorite filet mignons have achieved the distinction of USDA certified very tender. Omaha Steaks has been America's original butcher since 1917, a family-owned company with over 100 years of expertise in the meat industry. They also carry mouth-watering burgers, chicken, pork, seafood, and delectable desserts. Go to omahasteaks.com. 50% off site-wide during their Red Hot Sale event. Use the promo code 49ers at checkout for an extra $35 off. Minimum purchase may apply. See site for details. A big thanks to our advertiser, Omaha Steaks, for powering our 49ers Week 1 postgame show. All right. Obviously, what we have to talk about in a negative sense, unfortunately, is Jake Moody. I know the Niners won this game. I know Jake Moody came back to connect on his third field goal. He was 1 of 3 on the day, 2 of 2 on his extra points. The Niners can't let the feel-good feeling of this victory blind them from the fact that Jake Moody can't be on this football team any longer. He nearly cost them the game again. Before the half, he missed a 27-yard field goal, which is as easy as it gets in the NFL, pointed off the left upright. Now, that was a critical sequence in the game because the Niners drove down the field. They couldn't finish in the red zone. But if they're able to get 3 there, they also get the ball to start the third. That's how you grab the game by the neck. That's how you seize the momentum of the game. That's how you take control of this ball game. Instead, what happened? Jake Moody missed, and the Seahawks go right down the field, and they connect with 3 points. A little bit later, 36 yards. Jake Moody field goal blocked. And I know Matt Hennessy got bulldozed there from that left side, and it was more of a protection breakdown for San Francisco. But I got to go back and look at it. Kick might have been low, but either way, he just can't be on this team any longer. He nearly cost you in week 1. You can't have him cost you games any longer. And I don't think that Kyle Shanahan can deal with the stress any longer. I mean, on a couple of those Jake Moody misses, the camera panned to Kyle Shanahan, and he was seething multiple times in this game, whether it be Jake Moody misses or penalties or dumb mistakes. But Kyle Shanahan was fired up, and he was really pissed off. And the Niners have to stop justifying using a 3rd-round pick on Jake Moody and keep him on the team just because of where he was drafted. He stinks. He's one of the worst kickers in the NFL, and the biggest thing with him is that he lacks confidence in himself. Now, after he hit that 59-yarder in the preseason against the Raiders, special teams coordinator Brant Boyer said this could turn his career around. It hasn't. He missed an extra point against the Chargers the following week, and then he missed a chip shot field goal in this game. At some point, you are who you are. Jake Moody is who he is. And who he is? A kicker who's not good enough to be the kicker for this football team or really any team across the NFL. He needs to be gone, and the Niners need to bring in a more serious field goal kicker. So that's my rant on Jake Moody. More positives, because that was obviously negative, but we got to talk about it. Ricky Pearsall was awesome in this game. And on the first drive, when the Niners marched right down the field, very impressive scoring drive to open up the game. 14 plays, 95 yards. He caught a pass down the middle for 20-plus yards. And then from that point on, Ricky Pearsall wasn't seen from or heard from for a long time. But then he ended up making a couple of huge plays for this Niners offense. And the long of 45 was on that final drive, which flipped the field, got the Niners in the red zone, which led to the Purdy to Tonges touchdown to win the game. But all preseason, all training camp, we've heard that Ricky Pearsall has been dominating. How he's been the Niners' number 1 wideout. How he's looked great. And he's one of my breakout candidates for this year with how he finished the year, the connection that he had with Brock Purdy, but what he's done throughout preseason and in training camp. He's looked really good. Footwork, route running, picking up yards after the catch. He's elusive. He has good speed. Today, he got downfield and passed the Seahawks defense for big explosive plays on numerous occasions. And with the Niners shorthanded at wide receiver, he was huge in this game. One of the MVPs of it. 4 catches, 108 yards, as Chip just showed you, 27 yards per catch on those 7 targets. He was great. And then there's Christian McCaffrey, who had more than 30 touches in this game. 22 carries for 69 yards, 3.1 yards per carry. Still concerned about this Niners offensive line. Purdy on his first 19 dropbacks was pressured 16 times. And because of that, the Niners did struggle to run it. At times, you could see that they were finding success on the ground, but the yards per carry as a team, only 3.3. But McCaffrey, who was questionable going into this game, tweaked his calf in practice on Thursday, looked pretty healthy. Had some explosive plays. I wouldn't say he looked as fast as he did in 2023 when he was the Offensive Player of the Year, but that might just be the reality of who he is now at his age. But also the reality is that McCaffrey is still so important to this team. And without him, the Niners don't win this game because Brock Purdy had to go to him on numerous occasions through the air, on checkdowns in the flat, on screens, just to keep the ball moving. And Purdy had to get rid of it because he was under siege and pressure. So 22 carries, 69 yards, 9 catches for 73 yards. McCaffrey was, once again, really good. And we'll see how the calf responds. It might be a thing that we have to monitor and worry about quite frequently, but a good showing for him. More negatives. This offensive line, as I mentioned, on top of Jake Moody, just isn't good enough. And the Niners at times got bullied. Now, it was a chess match. I mean, Kyle Shanahan is a great offensive play caller and play designer. Mike McDonald is that on the defensive side of the ball. And so these are two heavyweight play callers going back and forth, and it was a joy to watch if you love talking football. I mean, I had the Niners winning 20-18. They went 17-13. We all knew that the under was going to hit. It was like 43.5 going into this game, and it was going to be a low-scoring game that came down to the wire. And I had warned people, it might come down to a Jake Moody kick. It kind of did. Brock Purdy saved him. But that tussle, that back and forth between two really bright football minds was really fun to watch. But this offensive line, regardless, just isn't good enough. I also have to say this. With how many moving parts the Niners have on the defensive side of the ball, with how many young players were thrust into action on defense, and with Robert Saleh coming back, I know it's the same defense for the most part, but there's a lot of personnel changes. He's a new defensive play caller. There are a lot of new faces on that side of the ball. You're relying on a lot of youth, and at times we saw some growing pains from this Niners defense. That's just going to be the reality of it. My goodness, was this Niners defense fantastic today. They hold Seattle to 13 points, only 1 touchdown on the day. They're able to hold Seattle on that final drive as Nick Bosa comes through huge. They give up 227 yards, 4.5 yards per play. Sam Darnold, only 16-23 for 150 yards. The passing yards, 143 total. The Seahawks on the ground averaged 3.2 yards per carry. A big emphasis for this Niners defense and this Niners organization this offseason, stopping the run. And you got 2 turnovers. Sam Okuwanu punched the ball out. Marques Sigle, rookie, getting the start today with the recovery. And then the Nick Bosa forced fumble and recovery. I thought this Niners defense grew up a lot today. They looked really good. I like how Robert Saleh was creative, aggressive, at times exotic. Fred Warner was sensational. Your back-end play was good. And there is room to grow and get better for this Niners defense. That's a great sign for them to do this in week 1. And then on the injury report, Jauan Jennings out with a shoulder. George Kittle caught the first touchdown of the year. He injured his hamstring. That's obviously a concern because Kittle had multiple hamstring issues last year, and he missed a couple of games because of it. Obviously, he's an older player. Incredible. But he's had some injuries throughout his career. Hamstring ailments, always a concern. And then with Jauan Jennings, he comes back off the calf, and then he hurts his shoulder. And obviously, that's big because of how good of a player he is. He had this one incredible pickup today. Just a high IQ football play. He's lined up one-on-one with Devon Witherspoon. Witherspoon comes in on the corner blitz. Jennings pointed to it. Purdy knew it was coming from that side, and then he got rid of it quickly to Jennings. So it's big because Jennings is such a good player, but also you're so banged up at wide receiver. I mean, late in the game on that final drive, the Niners' 3 wideouts were Ricky Pearsall, Russell Gage, a practice squad elevation, and Marquez Valdes-Scantling, who was on the practice squad a week ago at this point. So you're still shorthanded at wide receiver. Bad news. Kyle Shanahan said there's no question that Jake Moody will remain the kicker this week. You got to be kidding me. Marques Sigle, he was flying around today, led the team in tackles in his first ever NFL start. I said a little bit ago, Fred Warner was awesome. How about the play of Dee Winters today? Dee Winters was flying around. He had a couple of diagnosing plays that were highly impressive. And we saw a leap before our very eyes today in Dee Winters. 6 tackles, 2 TFLs. He was excellent too. Kyle Shanahan also said, hopefully we can still get Kendrick Bourne. I know we're still trying. If Jauan Jennings and or George Kittle miss time, I think Kendrick Bourne might be a Niner this time tomorrow. Any injury updates? Let's see here. MRI for Kittle and Jennings. All right. Cool. All right, that's all I got, I think, for our post-game show here. I liked what I saw from the NASCAR package with the Niners up front. Nick Bosa, Bryce Huff, Yetur Gross-Matos, and Michael Williams. That generated some pressures on Sam Darnold, confused him a little bit, and Sam Darnold played like it. But for the Niners to win this game, despite 2 Brock Purdy picks and 2 missed field goals, which I look at as 4 turnovers pretty much because they are, Niners are lucky to win it. Hard-earned win, but a great win. Grade this Niners win over Seattle. A, B, C, D, or F. Share your thoughts with me. Join the conversation down in the comment section. And as always, thank you so much for tuning in.